Have you ever wondered how evil could exist in a perfect place like heaven, where everyone was full of joy and harmony? The Bible reveals that long ago there was war in heaven, not a physical battle, but a conflict over loyalty, truth, and love. Revelation chapter 12 says, "Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. The dragon, called the devil and Satan, was cast out of heaven, and his angels were cast out with him." Lucifer, once the most beautiful and exalted angel, became proud of his brightness. He said in his heart, "I will ascend above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High." Pride turned worship into jealousy, and jealousy turned into rebellion. Lucifer desired the throne of God himself, and by subtle words he deceived 1/3 of the angels. He made them believe that God's government was unfair and too restrictive, promising a new way of freedom and advancement. When his true motives were unmasked, he and his followers were cast out. The war in heaven ended there, but the battle between truth and deception moved down to our world. It is difficult to understand how so many angels could follow Lucifer. He did not begin by attacking God openly. Instead, he raised questions and doubts that seemed reasonable. Because he held a high and trusted position, many believed he only wanted reform, not rebellion. He accused God of being unjust, claiming that divine law limited their potential. The same lie he later whispered to Eve in Eden, "You shall be as gods," was already spoken among the angels. Some hesitated, thinking they were neutral, but in a moral crisis, neutrality becomes a choice. When the time came to decide, they had already joined Lucifer's side. God could have destroyed the rebels instantly, but that would have planted fear instead of love. So he allowed time for the universe to see the results of sin. The principle of rebellion had to fully unfold so that creation could understand the difference between selfishness and the love of God. That same choice still stands before every human heart today. Will we trust God's love or follow the voice that promises freedom without obedience? Revelation chapter 13 shows how Satan continued his rebellion on earth through human powers. The same dragon that was cast out now works through two symbolic beasts. The first beast rises out of the sea, meaning it comes from among the nations. It combines religious authority with political power. It blasphemes the name of God, persecutes the faithful, and rules for 42 prophetic months, 1,260 years. The second beast arises from the earth, a new land with fewer peoples. It has two horns like a lamb, gentle and peaceful, but later it speaks as a dragon. This second beast uses its influence to promote worship of the first beast and eventually enforces the mark of the beast. These beasts continue Lucifer's ancient rebellion. Their purpose is the same: to obtain worship by deception and force. Through false miracles, promises of peace, and economic control, they seek to turn humanity's loyalty away from the Creator. Yet God still has a faithful people who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. In the final crisis, the test will not simply be about survival, it will be about worship and allegiance. History confirms the pattern exactly as prophecy described. After pagan Rome fell, power shifted to the Bishop of Rome, the papal system. In the year 538 AD, church and state united, giving religious leaders civil authority. For 1,260 years, this power dominated Europe, suppressing dissent and claiming divine rights. In 1798, Napoleon's general took the Pope captive, fulfilling the prophecy of the deadly wound. But the wound would heal, and in 1929 the Vatican regained political status, restoring its global influence. At the same time that the first beast was losing its power, a new nation was rising in a sparsely populated land, the United States of America. It was founded on two lamb-like principles: civil liberty and religious liberty. But prophecy says it will one day speak like a dragon, using its power to enforce religious laws and to lead the world in honoring the first beast. Together, they form an image to the beast, a union of church and state that copies the old system. The mark of the beast represents enforced worship contrary to God's commandments, a test of loyalty between man's authority and God's word. This chain of events follows the same pattern we saw in heaven: Lucifer's pride, his desire for worship, and his use of deception. In the last days, those same principles appear on a global scale through political and religious alliances. But Revelation does not end with fear. It ends with victory. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. Christ returns as King of Kings, and every false power falls. The kingdoms of men, represented by the statue in Nebuchadnezzar's dream, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, and the divided nations, are struck by a stone cut without hands. That stone represents the everlasting kingdom of Christ, filling the whole earth with peace. The great controversy that began with rebellion ends with restoration. Satan sought to exalt himself, but Christ humbled himself and is exalted forever. Those who choose the Lamb will stand with him in victory. Evil ends, truth triumphs, and love wins eternally. Please subscribe to the channel for more inspired videos, and remember to share this video and help spread the knowledge. Thank you very much.